we're tracking the investigation into a home invasion shooting here in Lexington.
The search for a missing man in Pulaski County led to a disturbing discovery at his home.
A dog attack sends a woman to the hospital. Neighbors say the dog involved had been violent in the past.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
A man is recovering this afternoon after police say he was shot during a home invasion. It happened on Mount Foraker Drive about 9:30 this morning.
The victim says he woke up to find 2 intruders in his house. He told police the men then attacked and shot him. As WKYT Sam Smith reports in our top story at 5, 2 nearby schools went on heightened alert while police searched for the suspects.
Police say they were called around 9:30 by the shooting victim. He says he woke up this morning with 2 men inside his house, and they shot him and then left the home on foot.
I don't know, it kind of makes you nervous because it was so close. Like, it's 2 houses down, and nothing like that's really happened over here before.
Police haven't said how many times the man was shot. Neighbors say they heard at least 2 gunshots. The shooting victim was rushed to the hospital.
It's a surprise. That's how quiet this neighborhood is. Who expects this to happen in the morning?
Police haven't said if anything was taken from the home. They say what happened here is a reminder that a crime like this can happen at any point in the day.
People don't understand that, we do have a lot of burglaries in the daytime. We don't just have burglaries at night. All you can do really is just be diligent about locking things up. Neighbors watching out for each other helps a lot. If you see somebody on your streets not supposed to be there, it always helps to make a phone call.
The 2 schools in this immediate area, Squires Elementary and Seton Catholic School, were on heightened alert after this shooting, which means no one was allowed outside of the school's building. In Lexington, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Police say there was a burglary in that area recently. They say the suspects in both cases have similar descriptions.
The search for a missing Pulaski County man led to a disturbing discovery at his home. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says that deputies found a body last night on Jones Knob Road, just outside of Somerset. Deputies searched the property of 56-year-old Edward Van Warmer after they got a tip that foul play might be involved in his disappearance. His son, Jebediah Van Warmer, and Amanda Braddock were both arrested this morning in North Carolina. Now, right now, they're charged with tampering with physical evidence in connection to that body. Deputies say they are suspects, though, in Van Warmer's disappearance. Investigators are waiting on the medical examiner to make a positive ID on the body. We'll have much more on this situation from Somerset on WKYT News at 6 o'clock.
A woman was seriously injured in a dog attack at a home on Woodward Lane. Animal control officers in Lexington tell us the attack happened after the woman tried to break up a fight between 2 dogs inside her home. WKYT's Victor Puente has the details.
Neighbors who came to help after this attack said the woman who had been hurt had a bite on her arm that went all the way to the bone.
You knew there was a life and death struggle going on. You could hear it from across the street. It was blood curdling.
Stephen Shaw says the screams that came from this home led neighbors to call 911 and led him to see if he could help. The former EMT says the woman who lives at this home was attacked by one of her dogs.
Bit her on the knees, took a big chunk out of her arm. I mean, it was bad. It was a bad chunk.
Animal control officers say the attack happened after the woman tried to break up 2 dogs that were fighting. A woman staying at the home says that dog attacked her mother's dog, then attacked its owner.
She let her dogs out. And when she did, my mom's dog was still out, and the dogs just sort of started ruffling, like making noise over there.
Another neighbor says the dog that bit the woman is the same dog that killed his Jack Russell Terrier when he was dropping off some fencing to its owner.
In less than 15 seconds, I heard the yelp of Jack's last yelp. The dog is hanging out of his mouth.
Animal control confirmed they had responded to this home before.
But when all the neighbors are waiting for somebody to die because of these dogs, what is it going to take for something to happen?
Animal control told me that because this was an animal they owned in their own home, they won't be taking this dog. They said that's the same reason the dog's owners won't face any charges. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The woman who was attacked was taken to UK hospital. Officers say her injuries were severe but not life-threatening. Animal Control in Lexington is also investigating another dog attack this afternoon. Officers tell us an 8-year-old was bit while walking home from school. Animal Control says the child was walking with a friend when the friend's dog got excited and ran out to see them. The child got scared and ran. The dog chased him and bit him on the thigh. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Animal Control is checking with the dog's owner to make sure it is up to date on its shots.
3 men from New York are in jail accused of using re-encoded credit cards at a Lexington store. According to arrest citations, each man had more than 75 re-encoded credit cards on them. Police say the men were using them to buy cigarettes and gift cards.
Fall is off to a beautiful start, but are changes coming as we head into the weekend? WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us now with an early look at your forecast. Sounds like some big changes, Chris.
Yeah, changes we actually need, and that comes in the form of rain. Don't worry about what's going on to the west of Kentucky. It's not going to impact our weather over the next few days. You got to worry about what's going on to our east and our southeast as well. Weather in reverse. We've said that a few times this week, and that's exactly what is happening. Big, potent area of low pressure that is increasing, and we're getting in now on a lot of rain across parts of the Carolinas, down into sections of Georgia and Florida. What is there is eventually lifting its way toward the north and the northwest. So range is close by right now as parts of upstate South Carolina, getting into the Charlotte area. Will eventually hit Gatlinburg, Dollywood over the next several hours, and by tomorrow morning, rain is arriving across southeastern Kentucky, and from there, it overspreads the rest of the region. Out and about this evening, it's a nice one yet again. Quick drop in thermometers after the sun sets, and should be a gorgeous sunset with some high clouds that are showing up on the horizon. When I come back in a few minutes, we'll focus on a forecast that has some decent rainfall numbers showing up for a change over the next few hours. A brand new hour-by-hour forecast is minutes away.
A Southern Kentucky father charged with his second DUI in 2 years was back in court this morning facing a tough punishment. A probation violation hearing was held for Jimmy Jasper in Pulaski County. Now, back in 2013, Jasper admitted to being drunk during a crash that badly injured his 12-year-old daughter. He was arrested again last month for being drunk in the drive-thru of the Dairy Queen of Somerset. WKYT's Monique Blair has more.
This is just a great example of how alcoholism affects the entire family.
In 2013, Jimmy Jasper pleaded guilty to drinking 12 cans of beer and being under the influence of drugs when he was driving with his 12-year-old daughter, Jaden. Jasper crashed the car into a fence, severely injuring Jaden. A judge sentenced Jasper to 10 years in prison, but ended up probating that sentence after Jaden asked the prosecutors to keep her father out of jail. Now, 2 years later, Jasper was back in court, answering to a judge on another drunk driving charge.
Where's your daughter? Here. Is she? I apologize to my daughter and my wife.
But the apologies weren't enough to change the judge's mind this time.
This past incident in which your daughter was severely injured and potentially could have easily lost her life wasn't enough to, and I'm sorry for the phrase, but to scare somebody straight, I don't know what would.
Jasper was sentenced to 10 years in prison. In Pulaski County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And Jasper will get credit for time served.
A student accused of writing threatening messages on a bathroom wall will likely face charges. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Franklin County. Franklin County high school officials say racial slurs began showing up on the walls earlier this week. They were painted over, and then this morning, new threatening messages showed up on the walls. The school identified a student suspect in the graffiti. They're working with the sheriff's office to decide what legal actions the student will face. In Breathitt County, a home where 5 people arrested for making meth last week burned down late last night. That fire happened on Quicksand Road. When crews arrived, the home was already up in flames. No injuries were reported. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. And in Johnson County, the Disaster Recovery Center is getting ready to make a change. The center was opened to offer help to flood victims, but now the center will be transitioning from a recovery center to a disaster loan outreach center. The SBA offers low-interest loans to homeowners, renters, and business owners, and officials recommend you apply for them with your FEMA assistance. Victims tell us they're still feeling the impact of the flooding 2 months later.
Still can't comprehend it, can't add it up. Some of the pictures just you can't replace. It's devastating, heartbreaking, traumatizing.
So far, Kentuckians have received nearly $5 million in individual assistance from FEMA. The deadline to register for FEMA assistance is October 12th.